the fundamentals of consciousness come down to a level of the electromagnetic field within the structure of an atom, come down to the level of the s orbital geometry of a sphere in the element hydrogen. And then we can start to understand the relationship between the light seen within the mind and the unconscious part of the mind, and how our neurotransmitters are functional as atomic machines based on hydrogen biology. The hydrogen s orbital structure, where the n=1 first layer within hydrogen is the Lyman line, the second layer is n=2, the Balmer, and the third line n=3 is the Paschen. So here we have a model that is aligned to a spiritual understanding of the atomic process, where hydrogen can be 2 photons of light. From the amine, which can be in 2 different, geometries, 2 different states. One state where it has 2 hydrogens and it's an NH2, and one state where it is protonated and has 3 hydrogens and NH3+. So we have this atomic cross-based geometry in hydrogen, where the nitrogen carries a positive charge, and hydrogen is the only element of the periodic table that has quantum properties where the proton can tunnel. The properties of the tunneling proton allow it to enter into the ring, the aromatic ring, or the pi electron ring of dopamine. And this process won't occur if the amino acid tyrosine or phenylalanine is carboxylated, right? So it needs decarboxylation to remove the carboxylic acid group from the amino acid to functionalize the amine of dopamine in order to generate the quantum tunneling process. So what we're seeing is a way in which tunneling of the proton from the dopamine can enter into the aromatic ring to generate an isotope. Now, the isotope has a known half-life and a known velocity of its decay based on its binding kinetics. And those 2 properties provide both time and distance. So, in a way, the isotope decay process gives a space-time holographic projection. And that model is what I've been utilizing in order to understand the decay process, giving the time reversal symmetry and the requirement for the conscious part of the human mind to have a delay in order to integrate both sound and light into a cohesion that makes sense. This is all happening outside of the neuron. So if we consider the serotonin reuptake inhibitors, what provides elevated mood where there's a higher concentration of serotonin in the extracellular milieu in the mind, the high water content of the mind, and the role that protonation has from water based on pH, we can get to look at the protonation speed, or the rate on and off rate of the amine functionality of dopamine in relation to pH, and the tunneling speed to generate the isotope, and the isotope decay speed based on its half-life and its binding energy to give an external velocity of the light that comes out of that singularity, or the single atom that's housed within the aromatic ring system. So there's a very clear picture being developed around monoatomic minerals coordinated to hexagon rings and dopamine and the process in which light enters into that ring system through quantum tunneling of the proton from the amine. The infrared light, or the third layer, Paschen line, gives a way of understanding how that could be involved in the generation of the isotope. This model has been built really through an understanding how time reversal symmetry in the isotope decay is important in providing a memory formation, memory recall process that's really has its foundations in atomic physics of isotopes. So I'm proposing that this is underpinning human unconscious mind, and its operating system is, in a sense, foundational to conscious awareness, but the awareness requiring a time delay in the isotope half-life. So the experience of conscious reality that we have, that we consider the now, is really a delayed now. And the deja vu experiences when you experience the light going into the single atom, and the normal experience of reality is when the light comes back out of the atom as the isotope decays. And this gives an idea of the origin of light in dreams, where light is originating from that stored form of electromagnetism within the structure of atoms. So we are creating isotopes within the unconscious part of our minds to provide us with an experience of delayed reality. And when we have a fight, flight, freeze type reflex, if we get scared, then we get to experience the light coming in, and we get a completely different set of biochemical properties of biochemical molecules being generated by the various wavelengths of light. The model of a cross within the geometry of an atom with positron-electron pairs and hydrogen gives the idea of the quantum tunneling geometry of a cross in the monoatomic system housed in the aromatic ring. And this is the 2x2 idea coming from Noah's Ark and the animals going in 2x2. So there's a relationship that I've looked at in terms of the biochemistry of our neurotransmitters and the experience that we have of conscious reality and awareness, and the role that positron-electron pairs in a particular geometry of a cross, only present within hydrogen, which is the only element responsible for quantum tunneling, is connected directly to our experience of reality. There's a lot more to this model than this, but this really gives you the basis for the role that isotope decay has, going from high energy to low energy as the photon of light expands, going from UV to visible to infrared, shifting from the high energy UV to the low energy infrared through visible wavelengths, corresponding to a trajectory or the arrow of time going from high energy to low energy in these single atom systems, with a time reversal symmetry occurring.